Hello, I'm here to discuss and review with you guys the first assignment in module number 3, which is the if and else 1 and 2. We're coming off doing the two different example problems in the notes, and that should have given you a little foundation of working with the if and else structure. The second one, you had a one if and another if, and so this is an assignment that's going to call for two if and else programs, and it's just trying to enhance. I'm more about trying to focus on enhancing your ability to learn the if and else structure. Okay, where the true path comes first, right after the then, and then we have the else, and then the false path teardrops after the else. So once again, this is Canvas, and I will be asking you to create a Word document, if and else control structure problems 1 and 2. You're going to have the form, you're going to code, and there will be a flow chart that you'll have to recreate. So you'll have 3 documents for if 1 and 3 documents for if 2. So if I go ahead and move over to module 3 and then show you again. If I teardrop down from the assignments, I teardrop down to the if and else control structure, and I right click and open new. I believe I very well may have that tab already open. So I want you to obviously look at the grade sheet, and I open that real quick. Part of the grade sheet will have basically if 1 is worth 50% and if 2 is worth 50%. If you go down and look at it, there will be a flow chart worth 10 points on each of problem 1 and 2. Again, the flower box is basic establishment. You need to have supporting arguments of that when working with this document. And then I'm looking at is your program having the right inputs and output and successful. So tear down a little bit, we have the first problem, and the first problem is going to be dealing with a tuition bill. Okay, and if you guys know, taking a college classes, it involves money. Okay, and so this is based on an indicator of 10 credits. So a lot of times, college class may consist of 3 credits. So if you take 3 classes, that's 9 credits, and so you may not be classified as a full-time students. A lot of times these college and university classifies like 10 credits or higher, very well could classify as a full-time college student. So your tuition may be in a whole nother ball game if you're a full-time student versus you being a part-time student. So if I have in the both bases this structure, I have an example what the flow chart looks like, an example what the form looks like, giving you help with this first problem with the code of the calculation button that hopefully will help you build it. And down below when it says more print methods, I'm not worried about you guys working with any of the print. Anytime you see creating print buttons or print methods, or we're just going to omit that all in general right now. But if we were in the classroom, I'd be rolling out having you guys work with the print. So if I open up the flow chart real quick and just dabble with 1 for a second, you will see that it's not completely filled out, but you should understand that, okay, here's a start terminal and here's a stop terminal down below. Okay, and so we have inputs to this, and I'm helping you out where the inputs needing to be is name. SSN stands for maybe social security number, and I wouldn't be asking you to put yours in during runtime, but I have one for you. And then credits, and then as you see here, credits is going to be the main test based on if the student is full 10 credits. If they have less than 10 credits, they're classified as a part-time students. If they have more than 10 credits, they're classified as a full-time. So I've given you some sort of help. FOPT stands for full or part-time in terms of trying to understand the acronyms that I'm using it. And so you then have printing. I'm asking you to print out all 4 things: name, social security number, tuition, and full or part-time. So if I go back, back to the assignment, and then quickly take a look at the form of this F1, and I just open up the form, I've given you a visual of maybe what this form should look like. And okay, it doesn't have to be like this, but I've given you labels for the three main inputs. I'm actually using a number up down, which will, as you click up above and down, those numbers will increase up and down. By hitting the calculating button, then your items will all display in the big text box down below here. So this a couple things I just, we need to realize this text box maybe have to be readjusted to multiple lines, and you can do that part of look for the property multiple lines in there. But I actually have this program open right now, and if I go over there right now, just to dissect with you a little bit, I have, for the most part, created some variables that are global. I made the dim as tuition as a decimal, and full or parting, which is text, as a string. Okay, and you can see now the number up down, I'm using a value is less than 10, and so I'm taking a route that I will then be multiplying $100 per credit by the number of credits. Okay, and so if I flip back to the flow chart again, that's what you see. You're doing a little multiplication within it, and then I'm classifying this as a FOPT is a part-time. So you got to understand, I'm helping you out with this program a little bit. The output, this is crazy. This is what the output line is. That is that text box. Okay. If I come back to the form, that's this text box right here with regards to looking at the text box. And this text box, and if I once again come down to come up to where it says multiple lines, we have that capability of changing it to multiple lines, so it becomes a bigger box. Okay, so realize that I've just been a little bit creative. So I think I have this program running, and let's say I put in my name, I put in the necessary social security number, and I just go up to like 8. I took 8 credits. I hit calculate. You can see how the data returns down in a row: name, social security number, credits, part-time, total tuition, $800. So if I go back to the program, ladies and gentlemen, I've actually given you guys a hint of what the calculate button looks like, and I will dissect that with you a little bit within, excuse me, not that one, within the, right here, calculate button will look like. So you'll see here in this transaction, after the end if, you need to then just hit calculate. You're spitting your results, and I have it called TXT output text box. Okay, and so I'm having a label that says name, and then I'm using that and symbol, TXT name. Now, what is VBCRLF? And that's referring to Visual Basic Control Left. It's telling the icon on that inside that text box to return down to the next line, and you'll see that many times. Okay, Visual Basic Control, that's 2. Visual Basic Control Left, that's 3. Visual Basic Control Left. So that's giving you that a hard return, followed by, we have a variable tuition, which is then giving you the dollar amount of what tuition, which is $800. So going back to the website, that here's the desk check, and wouldn't be wrong to go through a couple desk checks, one that's under 10 credits and one that's above 10 credits. And I'm telling you, this is what I'm giving you some sort of sense that this is what your output should represent. Okay, moving forward, ladies and gentlemen, to the second if 2, I find it may be a little bit easier. Again, I'm giving you a flow chart, and this is dealing with a bank account where at a monthly at the end of the month you have deposits and withdrawals, and what's your new balance. Okay, so there's the many inputs that are going involved in here: name, account, balance, total withdrawal, and total amount, the deposit. And I've kind of defined what's going over here. We have a mathematical formula. So before the if statement even starts, you're going to have to do a mathematical formula. And This one has an all, because understand, folks, with banking, and this is how sometimes banking works, that if your banking account is, let's say, under $100, a lot of times these banks may charge a $5 service fee. And that's all what's going on here, is writing a program to display your new balance from 1 month to next, based on if your account falls below $100, the bank is going to charge you a $5 service fee. So we have the flow chart. I've given you an example of what the form looks like, generic right here, that you're needing to be built. You're putting in your own controls. And you can see, again, you do see the print button here, but I wouldn't worry about, if we're virtual, putting any print forms or print controls on here. The main controls would be enter, clear, and exit. But just do your best to build this program. The program, for the most part, the code will be out of the enter button. That will be factoring what the new cost of the new balance would be. So once you're done, ladies and gentlemen, you will be going back to Canvas and uploading this file called IFTHENELSE 1 and 2, which you'll have two forms, at least two forms of the code and the written flow chart. So work through this and try to submit your best to learn a little bit more about if and else control structure.